With the Boston Celtics needing to clear some salary this summer, Chris Porzingis has become one of the most talked about trade candidates. It's a question that Celtics fans and NBA observers alike are asking. Has Chris Porzingis played his last game in a Boston Celtics uniform? I want to hear what you think. Yes or no? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. What's going on, Green Teamers? You're watching Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Tyler Smith. And today we have a major Celtics and Chris Porzingis trade update because a new team has emerged as a potential landing spot for KP this offseason. As we all know, the Celtics are focused on getting under the second apron this summer. They might even try to get closer to the luxury tax line, and shedding some salary will be key to that. Porzingis' expiring $30 million contract makes him a prime candidate to be moved. But before we get into the trade possibilities and specific teams linked to him, it's important to provide some context, especially regarding the recent Rockets trade rumors connected to Porzingis. According to reports from The Athletic, the Houston Rockets have been very focused on landing Kevin Durant in a trade. This has been a widely circulated story, and with the NBA draft just about 3 weeks away, we could see moves happening very soon. The Rockets, who have a young core, made the playoffs but lost in the first round, and they're looking to capitalize on the potential of this group by adding a superstar scorer who can elevate their offense, especially in the half-court. KD is widely regarded as one of the best scorers ever in half-court sets, so acquiring him would fill a major gap for Houston. However, whether the Rockets are fully committed to acquiring Durant isn't 100% clear yet. Kelly Iko from The Athletic mentioned that Phoenix is aggressively pursuing a trade for Durant and has been in contact with Houston since the season ended. Phoenix initially had high asking prices for Durant, but has gradually lowered them. Houston has a price where they'd be interested, but there is hesitation about breaking up their young roster for a 36-year-old player coming off injury. This leaves some doubt about whether the trade will actually happen. The phrase gradually lowered raises some interesting questions. Is Phoenix truly ready to part with a solid first-round draft pick, especially one in the top 10, in exchange for Durant? Despite his age, Durant is still performing at an MVP level, even if his team isn't winning as much as hoped. He could very well be the missing piece that pushes the Rockets deep into the Western Conference playoffs. So, trading away the number 10 pick might be worth it, but that's a decision only Houston can make. The Rockets want to keep their young core intact. Guys like Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, and even Kevin Porter Jr., who isn't everyone's favorite but still young with upside. They also have Jabari Smith Jr., who is a high draft pick and is expected to take a big step forward next season. The Rockets' current trajectory has a lot of promise, so they want to be careful not to disrupt that. So where does Chris Porzingis fit into all this, especially in relation to Houston and Boston? Well, as that Durant trade saga remains murky, Michael Scotto from Hoops Hype reported that executives around the league see Porzingis as Boston's top trade candidate to trim salary next season. This isn't exactly breaking news, but it's confirmation that the Celtics are serious about moving his contract to get financial flexibility. It makes sense because the Celtics would prefer to trade Porzingis rather than someone like Drew Holiday, who's been very productive and valuable for them on the court. From a league-wide perspective, there will be more interest in Porzingis due to his expiring contract and potential upside, even though the return won't be as much as what the Celtics might get for Holiday. The link between Porzingis and the Rockets started with the fact that Houston has an unrestricted free agent this summer, Steven Adams. Adams was a huge factor in their playoff series against Golden State, especially when the Rockets played double-big lineups. Adams created so many second-chance opportunities and helped extend that series to 7 games, despite Houston's struggles in half-court offense. With the Rockets possibly moving on from Adams this offseason, they may be looking to maintain that front-court presence and physicality, which could open the door for Porzingis as a potential fit. Kelly Iko also noted that Houston is anticipating trade conversations with Boston this summer, expecting the Celtics to canvass the league to offload contracts as they look to get under the salary cap limits. While the Rockets might be interested in Holiday, his contract and age make that a tough sell, since he's on a $34 million deal with a player option that will balloon even further. The Rockets might prefer to target a younger player with a cheaper, expiring contract like Porzingis, assuming he's healthy and ready to play next season. That said, matching salaries between Houston and Boston won't be easy. The Rockets' core players like Sengun, Green, Thompson, and Smith have contracts that don't line up well with Porzingis' salary. So any deal would likely be complex, involving multiple pieces or picks to make the numbers work. Let's dive into a potential trade scenario between Houston and Boston. In this idea, Boston would send Chris Porzingis and a 2025 second-round pick, which is technically pick number 32, almost a first-rounder, to the Rockets. In return, the Celtics would receive Dillon Brooks and Aaron Holiday. Brooks has been productive in Houston, averaging around 14 to 15 points per game and shooting 40% from three, while providing tough defense and energy. Holiday, meanwhile, could be more of a rotation player or salary filler in Boston's plans. This deal would save Boston roughly $4.7 million in salary, and by acquiring Holiday, they'd free up some cap space, potentially moving closer to that second apron goal. I don't think this exact trade happens because the Rockets would probably hesitate to give up Brooks straight up for Porzingis. But adding the first-round pick could be enough incentive for Houston. They're a young team that values draft capital and could see that pick as a building block. I personally like Brooks on the Celtics because his competitive style and energy fit well with Boston's culture. While some label him as a dirty player, I see him as a relentless pest on defense. Exactly the kind of mentality Boston fans. So would you make this trade? If you like this idea, let me know with an A for accept or D for decline in the comments. Porzingis and a protected top 10 first-round pick in 2026, plus the 32nd pick this year for Dillon Brooks and Aaron Holiday. I'll break down 5 more trade ideas for Porzingis in just a bit in case this one isn't your cup of tea. But before that, a quick word from our sponsor. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform, making daily fantasy sports easy and accessible. You simply select a lineup of 2 to 6 players and pick whether they go over or under on their projected stats. They cover all the major sports: basketball, baseball, hockey, and even niche stuff like bowling, darts, golf, and esports. You can mix and match across sports and win up to 2,000 times your money. PrizePicks offers special deals like Taco Tuesday, where player projections are discounted up to 25%, and Flex Friday, where if you lose your lineup, they give you your money back in promo funds up to $20. Use promo code CLNS when you sign up and place your first $5 entry, and you get $50 free instantly. No need to win. The links are in the comments and description below. Now back to the trades. Let's start with some other Porzingis ideas coming from Mass Live. The Celtics are going to need to make several moves to get under the second apron, and it's likely that Porzingis' trade will involve multiple players or picks coming back to Boston, not just a straight salary dump. The Celtics aren't expected to just dump Porzingis or anyone outright. Rather, they'll want to get some assets in return that they can move again to free up more salary. One idea involves the Utah Jazz, where Boston would send Porzingis and a second-round pick and get back Jordan Clarkson, KJ Martin, and SVI Mikhailiuk. None of those players are long-term solutions for Boston, as they are all on expiring contracts, so the Celtics could look to move them later in the season. This trade would be primarily about shedding salary, but it would give the Celtics some flexibility. Another trade idea from Mass Live has Boston getting Robert Williams, the Time Lord, back from Portland along with Matisse Thybulle. Williams is a player I'd love to see back in Boston. Injuries have limited his availability, but he's a strong front-court presence. The Celtics could use more front-court help next season, whether they re-sign Al Horford, Luke Kornet, or keep Porzingis. Thybulle is a solid defender and could fit well into the rotation or be moved later for salary reasons. There's also a trade proposal that sends Nikola Vucevic and Javon Carter to Boston for Porzingis. Vucevic is not known for his defense, but can score and space the floor well, while Carter is a solid role player, making just under $7 million. This deal could save Boston around $10 million in salary. They might look to move Carter later to clear even more salary, potentially getting a protected second-round pick in return. Another scenario involves the Charlotte Hornets, where the Celtics would get center Isaiah, Nurk, and Josh Okogie. Okaji is a tough defender who could serve as a backup guard in Boston. Isaiah is a frontcourt player who might fit as depth or a trade chip. Fans might prefer Mark Williams from Charlotte, but that could require Boston to give up more draft capital. Finally, there's a big three-team trade involving the Lakers and Pistons. Boston would send Porzingis to LA, who needs size, while getting sharpshooter Saben Lee from Detroit. Rui Hachimura and Maxi Kleber would head to the Pistons. This deal would shed about $22.5 million in salary for Boston, getting them right to the second apron and allowing them to keep Holiday if they want. The Pistons get an on-ball scorer in Hachimura. This is an ambitious multi-team trade that could be a model for the kind of moves Boston needs to make this offseason. Of all the trade we've talked about today, I'd probably lean toward the Rockets trade idea or the Bulls trade that brings in Vucevic because those deals offer a balance of shedding salary and acquiring productive players. But let me know what you think. Would you prefer to get Robert Williams back? Or would you prefer to do a pure salary dump and save millions? The key here is that Boston needs to get under the apron, and Porzingis' contract is the easiest to move, even if it hurts the team's versatility. Overall, it seems very likely that Chris Porzingis has played his last game for the Celtics. There's just too much salary to clear and not enough time to wait for his full recovery or for him to fit long-term in this team's plans. The Celtics have a great young core, and their championship window remains open, but it will require some tough decisions and trades in the next few weeks to make it happen. What do you think? Was KP a good fit for Boston? Should the Celtics have kept him? Or is this the right move to get financial flexibility? Drop your comments below. And if you want more Celtics news and trade rumors, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a single update. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. A surprising whisper is stirring in the basketball world, and it involves none other than Jaden Springer, the young talent once part of the Boston Celtics roster. Recently, the guard shared a candid and striking confession that has ignited speculation among fans and analysts alike. Leaving the Boston Celtics is my daily regret. This seemingly offhand comment has sent shockwaves through the NBA rumor mill, hinting at a potential storyline that could reshape the dynamics of one of the league's most storied franchises. Springer, known for his agility and sharp instincts on the court, was once considered a promising piece in the Celtics' rebuilding puzzle. His departure, however, seemed to mark a new chapter, both for him and the team. Now, his heartfelt admission opens up a fascinating dialogue about what might have been and what could still be in the future. Could this regret be a subtle signal that he's eyeing a return to Boston? Or is it more a reflection of a missed opportunity and a wishful glance back at a team with a rich history and passionate fan base? The Celtics, constantly on the lookout for talent that can bolster their championship aspirations, might find in Springer a player whose hunger and perspective have only grown since his exit. The atmosphere around the team has been one of strategic moves and calculated risks, always with the aim of assembling a roster capable of contending at the highest level. Springer's words could very well represent more than just a personal sentiment. They might be the seed of a potential reunion that would excite supporters and analysts who have long admired his skills. On the other side, this revelation fuels questions about the circumstances of his departure. Was it a decision driven by the player's desire for a new challenge? Or did the Celtics management believe the fit wasn't right at the time? And if a reunion is to be considered, what changes would need to happen for both parties to align their goals once again? The NBA landscape is ever-shifting, and stories like Springer's remind us of the human side behind trades and signings. The dreams, the doubts, and the second chances. While nothing is confirmed yet, the buzz is undeniable. Boston's loyal fan base is no stranger to dramatic twists and turns, and the idea of welcoming back a player who openly acknowledges a daily regret for leaving adds a compelling layer to the ongoing Celtics narrative. Whether this becomes a concrete move or remains a tantalizing possibility, it underscores how the NBA isn't just about stats and scores, but also about personal journeys and the pursuit of redemption. For now, all eyes remain on Jaden Springer and the Celtics, waiting to see if this rumor transforms into reality. Will Springer don the green and white jersey once more? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The basketball world is buzzing with anticipation. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.